Who's that?
It's Tails.
Tails!
There he is.
Oh
There's the boy.
no! Don't take my tails.
Yeah.
Yo, who the
Normal
fuck
ass
are these
foxes.
fucks?
Oh, these the kids make it.
Yeah,
Oh, what they
they're the
made?
kids that are making fun of Tails. You know how Tails is always like, I used to get bullied a lot.
This is so dumb. I'm sorry.
Look at him. He's like, thanks, my hero. And he's like, I can keep up. But here's the interesting thing, right?
The wig? Is
No,
that the interesting part?
No, look at this. He's like, wow, I can fly with these. It's like he's discovering
What? So he
it for the
learns to
first time.
fly chasing Sonic? Like
Yeah.
what? Hold on.
It's
Hold
canon
on.
that Sonic taught Tails how to fly.
Yeah.
He did.
Sonic gave
What's up?
Tails.
Sure.
No. Sonic gave Tails the name Tails. Right?
So
Okay,
what was he
check
named
this out.
before? Just Miles? I mean, Miles,
Wait,
obviously,
can I
right?
point this
Yo,
out
what
real
you do to
quick?
Miles right now? Speaking of which, what are you doing?
Okay, yeah, you see what he's doing right there? Get ready for that shit for the rest of the game. He's
So
just
like,
gonna
hey,
get
we
stuck.
remastered this game, except for that. We didn't
Yeah.
fix
Tell.
that. That's
Exactly. So yeah, that's a major complaint a lot of people are having right now is that Tails just keeps getting stuck in little like crevices and he just keeps jumping. Like, you hear him still?
that poor pathetic bastard.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'll do it. I'll make it. And you're like, no, it's okay. You're gonna die.
But
Just
like,
let it happen.
listen to that shit. Anyway.
Yo, it's our beat. Tails dropping that beat. That Tails jump beat.
Yeah.
Ooh. No, I can't
no.
rap to it. We ain't rapping. No.
No, I'm trying to look for a
Don't do it.
signpost. So that's the gimmick here, is that in order to get into the special stage, you have to find a signpost. And you have to have, I think it's 50 rings in order to get into the special stage. And if you don't have them, you don't get in. Oh, well, that's the end of the stage. Whatever. We move on.
You fucked it up.
We move on.
Oh, we got the bad ending again.
Why can't we ever be good?
Because I'm helming the sticks.
Rudy says, hey guys.
Yeah, hi. I need to know. Is it Ruddy? Is it Rudy? Is it
Yeah,
something
right?
that I'm not saying
That's a good
properly?
point. Yeah, put the English pronunciation in the chat, please.
The phonetics.
Ruddy, Rudda boy.
Frank, please.
Just type your name out again.
He just types
Yo, just type it exactly as is.
69 rings.
Yay.
Let's go.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, my name is pronounced as Rudy.
Oh, shit.
I
okay.
have been terrible.
Yo, this looks great. This always looked cool.
Yeah,
you know, like
look at
I've
this,
always
though.
felt that this was like fantastic animation and art.
If you look at this compared to what it originally looked like, it is completely different. It's like smooth as butter here.
Yeah. And the color shading on both the back of their heads is just fantastic.
Oh yeah, it really gives off that 3D-esque feel, which is like, I feel like that's the beauty of the Genesis graphics, is that it always kind of looked like pre-rendered graphics, even though it was just sprite work.
Right? So cool. Yo, Tails, you only got one ring, motherfucker?
Yeah.
God damn, bro.
Yeah, man, Tails' ass. He's just a wannabe. I've been spending the weekend playing this game because it did just come out, and I just recently got all the Chaos Emeralds, trying over and over and over and over, but I didn't get all the Chaos Emeralds in my personal playthrough. We may or may not get all the Chaos Emeralds in this playthrough, but what I do want to do is I definitely want to aim for all the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic 3, because that is my jam. I think Sonic 3 and Knuckles is the one game that I've played the most in my life.
I was like it's like trying to think of that. You said that to me the other day, and I was like trying to think of the game that I've played the most in my life. And I mean, it's gotta be Ocarina of Time, you know, like it's gotta be Ocarina.
I only got to the end of that game one time. And I have it on, like, I have 2 cartridges on the N64, and then I have it on 3DS, because they kind of, like, remastered a little bit, you know? They had, like, new textures, like, new facial animations and stuff, made it look all pretty.
Yeah,
But
bunch of new things.
I never got to the end of that game.
Nice. I mean, I already told you the story that I always carried around the guidebook with me, and like I just knew this back and forth that game.
That's
and
right.
in college, the last time I speed run the entire game, I was able to beat the game in like 6 or 7 hours, like the whole thing.
Wow.
And like,
how long is that game typically? Is it maybe like 20 hours?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, if you take your time, I was just like, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
I mean, you know, if you know your way around a game like that, then
Right.
yeah, you know like exactly the places that you need to go, and so you don't have to like spend all your time exploring, which is like something that I always do when I play a Zelda game.
Oh yeah, right. That's half the game, is being like, well, I, you know, walked around this whole area and figured it out. Ooh.
So you saying
There you go.
you're gonna play Ocarina of Time on the stream, or we're gonna watch?
You get a speedrun?
I don't know.
Oh shit. So
I don't think I could. I don't know if I mean, maybe I could now. I don't know, but it's been a while.
Yeah, you're probably rusty.
Rusty.
Yeah, Rudy says Ocarina is a beautiful game for sure. It is. It's
For
really,
sure.
It's really beautiful, and it's for the time that it came out. It was like something nobody had ever really seen or experienced before. So it is definitely a big part of gaming history.
Yeah, and I think that it tells a really interesting hero's tale too. You know, like that's definitely something unique about it, is that it's like it's telling a really strange hero's tale. You know, there's lots of like fantasy games that were coming out at the time, and it still is able to do something really unique with sort of stuff that you've seen before.
Yeah, do you remember the old ad campaigns for it, where it was like, will thou be a hero or will thou suck?
The Nintendo
so
marketing
fucking
team
weird.
like had the biggest balls back in the day.
Yeah.
They were just like, they used to just be like, you play another console, fuck you. And
Yeah.
now it's like,
Well,
please.
It's also like cheat on your girlfriend with Nintendo.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was weird. But no, it was, I
That
feel
is
like
super weird.
a lot of it has to do with Sega, because as soon as Sega came in and was like, fuck Mario, fuck Nintendo, Sonic's the shit, they were like, okay, we'll play your game. And they started having like weird, you know, edgy marketing on their end as well. It was just kind of like weird, like warfare.
And again,
Yeah,
best
it's like,
part.
it's like the weird edgy Twitters of today, you know,
Yeah.
where they're like, we'll fight each other weirdly on
bunch
Twitter,
of-
you know, like, and you're like, okay.
stuffy old dudes coming up with that marketing.
Yeah,
That's the best part. Like they're just like in suits in a boardroom being
Yeah.
like, what are the kids like?
You would
Oh.
think that it's
Yeah.
teenagers, but it's not. It's a bunch of really old guys. Oh man.
Bunch of old guys being like, if you Nintendo don't, then fuck you.
Yeah.
Like,
If
that's
you
the end.
Nintendo,
Run
then
it.
Sega the fuck out of here. And you're like, could you please speak like plain English? Or...
They're like, sir, stop taking cocaine while you're doing your pitch.
Well,
you're like, I can't.
The guy who they had a guy come on to do all the marketing that was like legitimately crazy.
Yeah.
And he would like he would haze
It's like those TikToks where they're like, buddy, I need a new theme song. And he's like sniffing a marker.
yeah. And he would
Liberty, liberty, liberty. And they're like, you fucking genius.
Oh my god.
like at the conventions he would like find where like the competition was like sleeping and then like trash their hotel rooms and stuff.
Holy
Yo,
shit.
what the
He
fuck?
was nuts. But eventually they parted ways with him, and he's the dude that destroys Sega with the PlayStation announcement.
Oh no, that's
Really?
the fucking guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Frank, do you know about that?
When the Pice
familiar.
drop.
Yeah, okay, so when PlayStation was coming out, Sega Saturn was also coming out, and
Yes.
there was a lot of disagreements between hardware manufacturers, because originally Sega and Sony were going to work together, and then also Nintendo and Sony were going to work together. It's fucking weird. Like, eventually Sony was like, fuck both of you, we're going to make our own thing. But yeah, so they had kind of like beef with Sony, and the Sega spokesperson had like was it Sega or was it PlayStation? One of them was like they were gonna have this whole speech, but they cut it short.
What happened was the Saturn was a disaster.
Yeah.
And Sega America was forced to.
Oh, this is my most hated level, by the way, guys. This is the fucking. Yeah, I can't.
You just gotta be patient. Two things, Frank. You gotta be patient, and you can't panic, especially in these water stages.
I can't do either of those things. I am sorry. Panic. See, the pink liquid's already got you. You did. Ah!
You did, boy.
That's what you think, but you know what? I'm not gonna panic, because I know what I'm doing.
She's a professional. She knows what she's doing.
We're professionals here.
With the pink liquid.
Yeah, it's basically like surgery. I got it.
You know, surgery on a grape. It's easy. Let's do it.
A robot can do it so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if we can turn little animals into robots in this game, it's easy.
Okay, but yeah, educate us.
Oh, so the Saturn was doing bad, and I think they forced him to. Did they announce it like the week it came out?
Yes.
So that happened, and the price on it was like.
I knew that shit was gonna happen. Because
what
the 32X was gonna come out well before the Saturn, because it was gonna be like, oh, here's your introduction to the 32-bit gaming, and then here's the Saturn for everybody who wants
but
the better hardware.
That ended up shooting them a foot because that was two things people had to buy. Yeah. And I think the Saturn was like super expensive, and no games were coming out for it at the time.
And the 32X was already like $80, which is like a lot to ask for.
Yeah, so
especially back then. Like you're just like, damn.
But for both of them to come out at the same year is like painful.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Kalinske with Sega America was like, oh well, they're forcing me to drop the news that it comes out like this week. So he announces it, he announces the price and whatnot. And then so the Sony comes up after them, and the guy had this whole speech, and again, he used to work for Sega of America. Had this whole speech about how revolutionary it was, and all he did was go up there and say
$2.99.
And everyone lost their mind. That's all he walks off stage, and that's it.
It's a very historical moment in gaming. It really is. You should definitely check out the channel The Gaming Historian, because he has. Oh yeah.
I've watched a bit of him sometimes.
Yeah. You watch his on. I think it's just a video on Sega hardware. It's a pretty breathtaking moment. You're just kind of like, oh fuck.
Yeah, there's also
these guys mean business.
There's a book on it about the history of games with Nintendo.
Console
That's cool.
Yeah, console wars.
Yep.
I highly recommend it. It's very.
I started watching the documentary that they're like, it's sort of based on this, and you're kind of like, okay.
I forgot that was a thing. Yeah.
The book's alright. It's very embellished.
Yeah, they're like, we gotta make this better. We gotta make this cooler than it was just a bunch of nerds picking on each other. We gotta make this cool.
Because there's a line in there that I think Sega gets a hold of a new Mario game, and in the book they hand it to one of their testers or something like that. And the dude's like, oh, you want me to spend a weekend with the princess and see all her secrets or something like that?
It's spy shit.
No one talks like that.
You're like,
But it was really weird, because at the time they were like, oh, we're gonna look at what they're making, we're gonna reverse engineer this shit, we're gonna it was slimy. I mean, it still kind of is, but not to that degree at all. Because game developers still are kind of doing stuff like that, where a developer will see what one company is doing and try to copy it, and then try to come out with it at the same time. For example, fucking Paladins and Overwatch. You know, it's still happening to this day. It's just not.
And now with Overwatch 2 coming out, we have Gundam Evolution and a bunch of other kind of team-based games coming out at the same time, trying to take that slot.
Overwatch 2 copying more games like Valiant and these free-to-play games, so it's even Overwatch that started a trend is now chasing a trend.
Right.
Yeah, and you can definitely tell because they've gone to 5, and it's definitely become more shooty, I guess is the way you could say it, is that like it's not like a MOBA where you're like laying somebody down slowly. Sometimes it's there's not as many shields anymore, so you're fucking just tearing people apart sometimes, you know, like they're just dead. And of course with one tank there's not as much protection for everybody, so it's just very fast at times.
Why didn't Eggman just hit you with the hammer?
You know what? Sonic's been around for what, 31 years now? That thought never crossed my mind.
He's like, oh, if I smack the top of these and shoot the arrows at the right time, I might be able to nick them.
I know, and then every time he's like, fuck, I got hit. Let me try again. Fuck, I got hit.
Let me try again.
Like, if someone was just like, Eggman, wait a second, look at what's in your hand. Oh,
that's the problem, dude. Eggman works alone. That's why he's so fucking dumb. Until he started getting sidekicks.
That's why Agent Stone or whatever was a dumb addition, because you're like, no, Eggman works alone.
You think so?
Like,
I love Agent Stone.
Yeah, he's a fan favorite.
Yeah. That guy.
I mean, he's fun. He's definitely fun, and the actor's good.
Yeah,
like he does a good job.
He has a Twitch channel where he like all he does is like talk about robots and Pokemon. It's really fucking great.
That's so funny. That's great. I mean, speaking of Pokemon, are you guys fucking excited for Scarlet and Violet or?
I
was gonna stop.
I am now. I wasn't when they showed the first teaser, but after they showed the
yeah, definitely that second teaser was more helpful.
Yeah,
you know, like I feel better.
Exactly. Once they showed off some of the characters, the legendaries, I was all for it. I love things with like tribal themes, so I am in love with which one is it? Scarlet? That's more like past themey.
Yes.
Or whatever. Like and like the professor, the female who like looks like she came out of like the Stone Ages. Like I love it. I love the entire aesthetic. Yeah, she's definitely my go-to professor.
Like, I'm a sci-fi guy, but I was immediately like, no, I'm getting that one. Whatever one that is with her in it, I want that one.
Yeah.
Like,
I imagine that they're both tied to the story in both games, that they're just, you know, like the box legendary is the only major difference. But I could be wrong.
No, I'm sure there's, I've heard there's exclusive Pokemon like Sword and Shield, where it'll be like, yeah, you need both versions to get the full Pokedex, unless you trade
that's how it's always been, though, since day one. But I'm thinking more like story-wise, you know, because like,
it's not going to change.
Yeah, like one
like
of them
Sun
is
and Moon.
I would hope, honestly, I hope that they do what they did in Generation 3, where, like, you have two, depending on the game that you got, you have either Team Aqua or Team Magma, and you basically get a whole different story.
Woo! Tails! Sorry. No, I agree. I think that, I mean, we were already talking about it. What was it? Ages and Seasons. Legend of Zelda Ages and Seasons.
Yeah.
What was so great about them was that they were two completely different games. You know, like they were like sort of the same mechanics, but very different. Like you literally needed to own both because they were different.
Rudy says professors are hot.
Yeah, actually.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know how the internet is, the way that they are.
Horny jail.
Yeah, horny jail. That's
horny jail. All of you.
But that being said, in other words, yes, the professors are very attractive.
For cartoon characters.
People were making the joke that they were like, yeah, your mom is sending you away this time to get with the professors. You know, like, it's not Professor Oak sending you away. It's definitely the it's definitely your mom being like, no, get out of here. I'm gonna hook up with these two.